Good day, everyone, and welcome to another epic episode. Welcome to News Aluchi, whereby we discuss our politics. But this time around, we are discussing what are the new developments which are happening in the Ad Hoc Committee of Parliament. We know that they were calling to summon Paul O'Sullivan, the self-proclaimed investigator, to come there and to appear. But seems like the man is nowhere to be seen. So Paul O'Sullivan was originally scheduled to appear before the committee on January 21 and 22. Paul is insulting Parliament, says Soviet Lekhanyan, says that the man is insulting us. So Paul boldly comes and said that Parliament is a criminal operation and he's not coming.
Mr. Paul O'Sullivan is insulting the Parliament of the Republic, calling it a criminal parliament, and has even made very, very serious allegations. He went on to cast aspersions on members of this parliament and members of this committee, accusing them of aiding criminal conspiracies to take his life. But he even goes on to call them criminals. And I don't think that it's something that we can take our attention off it. But he further says, even if I was coming to appear virtually before you, I will not recognize members of the MKP. I won't recognize members of the EFF. I won't recognize members of the Action SA. So I just felt that I must emphasize those points even before we go to discussions on the two items. What I will do, honorable members, let's discuss the items in this way.
The MPs were discussing on how to summon him immediately after he rejected the request for virtual hearing. The chairperson of the Ad Hoc Committee, Soviet Lekhanyan, described O'Sullivan's conduct as insulting. Lekhanyan described Paul O'Sullivan's conduct to Parliament as this man is disrespecting us, is insulting us. I'm so very disappointed by the DA's Glenis Breytenbach. She says that she doesn't have anything to say, simply meaning that she believes that Paul will be assassinated. How is it that Breytenbach is now coming to defend the criminal Paul O'Sullivan? Not long ago, the man wrote an email and told them straight to their faces that all of them are criminals there in Parliament.
I've only got 5 minutes left, so I'm going to wrap up. In my view, Mr. Matlala, you're not a businessman. You're a crook.
I am.
You're a thief, you're a fraud, and you're corrupt. And the problem in this country today is that people like yourself clothe yourself in the respectability of calling yourself a businessman when you are nothing but a dishonest thug. You make an illicit fortune by stealing from the poorest of the poor. It's people like you and your associates that have robbed generations of South African children of their futures. Shame on you, sir. I'm finished, Chair.
What a change from Glenis Breytenbach. Where is that toughness, that boldness that she demonstrated when dealing with Vusimuzi Matlala? Because a lot of people were happy on how she handled Vusimuzi Matlala, confronting Vusimuzi Matlala and not showing to care or even to play with him. That bold toughness has now turned to be soft and concerned about the safety of Paul O'Sullivan, who is already a fugitive and who's just called them straightforward criminals. Phahlane alleges that coordinated plots by McBride and O'Sullivan. He accuses them and other IPID investigators of implicating him through falsehood, fabrications and malicious allegations. The DA always supported Robert McBride, who is a close associate with O'Sullivan. So it is not surprising she is still protecting the man. as much as the DA in the time past was protecting Robert McBride, who is so close with Paul O'Sullivan. There are allegations that the DA and Paul O'Sullivan, they were working together with Afro Forum to prosecute some of the politicians and those people, business people who are refusing to pay some tax under the organization called the Rogue Unit. Paul has made serious allegations against the committee via the email, stating that he will refuse to recognize members of the MK Party, the EFF, and Action SA. We know why he's doing that. We know that why he's against the MK Party. He's against the MK Party because he does not like anything that represents the MK Party, including the EFF. According to Paul, these two are the lefties, are the ones that are not supposed to be supported or to be even there in parliament. So they can't come there and question him. The likes of the representative of the MK Party at the CIC, Julius Malema, doesn't want to be asked by those, because he knows how Malema is when he asks you questions, especially when you have that dodgy character. The EFF knows how to deal with such people. So the MK Party, the likes of Skosana, they were ready for Paul O'Sullivan to come there and assemble, but Paul is saying no. But now one will ask himself a question: why is Paul O'Sullivan having now this serious beef when it comes to Action SA? So the beef between Athol Trollip and Paul O'Sullivan has started after General Tlhatlhambi Connors has made that public announcement about the corruption and the involvement of Paul O'Sullivan. And Athol Trollip called for the arrest of Paul O'Sullivan, in which Paul O'Sullivan did not take that very lightly, and he responded to Athol Trollip and accusing him of being a criminal himself. So he wanted to use law against him and he failed. So there was that dispute. So as far as things are concerned, he does not trust the Action SA. He went on to cast aspersions on the MPs and this committee, accusing them of aiding criminal conspiracy to take his life. He even called them criminals. Other MPs agreed that the subpoena should be issued, arguing that allowing a virtual appearance will undermine the committee's authority. ANC MP Mdumiseni Ntuli said that such contempt for parliament is unacceptable.
Is the issue of Mr. Paul O'Sullivan. When I read the emails that he wrote to Parliament and telling us that he doesn't want to be engaged with the EFF, he doesn't want to be engaged with Action SA and the MK Party, it was quite clear that we are dealing with an individual who's treating Parliament with serious contempt. And we don't believe that as the African National Congress, we should allow a private citizen to undermine the Parliament of the Republic to that extent. And we are very convinced that the position we adopted earlier on as a committee shall be sustained, which is that the man has to be called physically before the ad hoc committee to explain his role in the security environment of the South African Police Service. And we will not accept any excuse, as he has said it in those emails, about his security and that we want to organize him to be murdered and all that nonsense he's talking about. So we are very clear that the committee position on the matter must be sustained and the man must be invited to appear before the committee. And Chair, we would like to, I want to leave this maybe for us to exercise our minds about. I know that our term of office is ending on the 20th of February, and I do hope that we're going to meet that deadline. I think it's important that we meet that deadline. But in a situation where we get into that point, and Mr. Paul O'Sullivan is not back overseas, as he claimed to be away, 10,000 kilometers away from the Republic of South Africa, I think we will have to decide and go to Parliament to say to Parliament, here is the report of our work. We believe that report is going to be helpful for portfolio committees and Parliament itself to discharge its responsibilities on the matters we are required to investigate. But we may need to ask Parliament to allow us to make a supplemental submission later on when we have succeeded to have Mr. Paul O'Sullivan appearing before us. It's important that he does. He has been a central player, and from what we have heard, being very negative in the work of the South African Police Service. And I think it would be a traverse of justice if we do not succeed to have him before us, whether we have him tomorrow or we have him at any time, even after the deadline of Parliament. It's a matter that I think Parliament will have to discuss and agree that, yes, your term has ended, we need the report, here is the report, but we can agree that somebody like that, somebody can undermine Parliament to the extent that the man has done.
He has been a central player and will be an injustice if we don't have him before us. ANC MP Xola Nqola confirms that application for a virtual appearance had been officially declined. MKP Sibonelo Nomvalo responded and said to the committee, "We will use all legal means necessary. We must use every available mechanism to bring him physically before the committee." So, you know that after all these discussions, Breitenberg of the DA, she shared her own view and differed with the rest of the committee. This is what she said here.
Thank you, and good morning to everybody. Yeah, we have no difficulties with any of the issues raised. I have a difficulty with the 6th of February as a date. I have a personal engagement that I can't get out of, but that doesn't matter. Everyone else will be present. We agree with the general discussion, Chair, of all the points raised. I'm not going to go through them all and repeat what everyone has said. Apart from O'Sullivan, Chair, I have no difficulty with the members wanting him here in person, and I don't object to it, and I don't wish to say anything about it. All I'm saying, we need to be a little bit careful. If we force him to come and he does get assassinated, we will have to deal with that fallout. But I have no objection to members wanting him to come. Thank you.
She's saying that the committee does not need to force Paul O'Sullivan to come before the Haddock committee. And I'm sure many of us were asking ourselves, what is next? When a parliamentary Haddock committee subpoenas a person and they fail to appear, it is considered contempt of Parliament and constitutes a criminal offence under South African law. The Powers, Privilege and Immunities of Parliament and Provincial Legislatures Act number 4 of 2004 gives committees strong enforcement powers to handle such situation. An arrest is imminent. If the committee determines that the person has ignored the subpoena without a valid reason, they can escalate the matter. A warrant of arrest is issued. The Speaker of the National Assembly or the chair of the councils can authorize a warrant for the arrest of the person, compelling them to appear before the committee. A police officer can execute this warrant to bring the person to the committee. Declining excuses. If a witness ignores a subpoena and provides weak excuses as refusing to appear physically, the committee often rejects these, arguing that such actions undermines Parliament's authority. So personally, I don't think that Paul O'Sullivan is coming back because he knows that there will be a warrant of arrest because already the man is refusing. I don't think this needs to be taken lightly, and it will be testing now the Haddock Committee and the Matlanga Commission because it is also in the pipeline. If Paul is refusing to appear before the Haddock Committee, eventually, obviously, when it comes to the Matlanga Commission, he will also decline to appear there. So I don't see him coming anytime soon. Like what happened with Jacob Zuma. You remember when Jacob Zuma refused to continue with the Zondo Commission? The Constitutional Court issued out the warrant of arrest and Jacob Zuma was arrested. As an outcome, it has to repeat. And this will test now the parliamentarians, whether they are weak when it comes to their rule of law. They will stand and protect the Constitution and South Africa, because it seems like the likes of the people like Paul O'Sullivan, they're just undermining everything. Just imagine calling Parliament criminals, parliamentarians criminals. Sure, just imagine. Please leave it on the section below, and you can subscribe to this political YouTube channel, and let us meet on the next video. And I'm out.